Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back officially. We've been gone for about 2 weeks now, but we are back. This is the guy or the man that never misses, Light Out Sport with the GOAT, CZ Huncho. Man, it's been a while, but before we even start the show, Z, I just don't miss, right? It's official. It's impossible for me to miss. I said Bucks in 6. And what happened? Bucks in 6.
Your
I said
note.
it's Nets. I said the Nets are gonna lose. They lost. The Hawks. They come on, Z. I'm a cheat code. I'm a damn cheat code. I just never miss anymore. I said Z. You gotta admit. You gotta admit it, bro. I was right.
I can't admit what's not admittable. This was your first make. I give you that. You preached Lakers in 5, and then you preached Bucks in 6 for the Nets.
What happened to the Hawks? What happened to the Hawks?
What did you preach for the Hawks?
I said Bucks in 6.
Did you?
Yep. I have video evidence and everything.
We weren't betting against that, but I'll give you that.
Hey, man, I just don't miss. That's all I gotta say. I am a cheat code. I think now everything that I say is turning into gold, and that is a really bad power to have for me because I'll make the Lakers win every single year. Well, every year that LeBron's alive in the NBA. So, anyways, let's start the show. Man, I don't know if you've been hearing, Z, but Giannis is the best player in the world, apparently. He won an NBA championship. And with that logic that everyone is running with is that Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and LeBron James do not exist anymore. And Giannis is officially the best player in the world. Z, what do you think?
I don't think that Giannis is the best in the world, but it's like, the only reason I don't think he's the best is because when we talk about over the years and like generations that have come in and eras that we've seen, there is not one script or what do I call it? Criteria that a player has to specifically have to be looked at as the best player. Like in the 90s, MJ was undisputably the best player in the freaking world, but was he the best playmaker? No. Was he the best passer? No. He was the best scorer, and he was an elite defender, and he literally was just unstoppable. So when you look at that, you're like, okay, and he was winning all the time, the MVPs, the scoring titles, dropping 50, whatever. That was what the criteria was. And he was on the best team. And he was the best player on the best team. So that's just like, and then in the 80s, it was debatable between Larry and Magic, right? Magic, was he the best scorer? No. Was he the best playmaker? Yeah, and the IQ. But then there was Larry, who was a better scorer, and he could play defense, and he can grab 10 rebounds a game. It's literally the format of what we look at. For LeBron, for the past however many years, it's clearly been LeBron. But the reason that it's been LeBron is because it's like, oh, he can play make, he can score. He's not the best scorer. He's one of the best passers, if not the best. Has the best IQ, if not one of. He's not the best rebounder, definitely not the best defender, unless it's chase down blocks. But at the same time, it's like the criteria just shifts all the time. So with LeBron on the decline, the one person that's literally been behind him for the past 3 seasons has been Kevin Durant or Steph Curry. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. So I was like, when you look at Giannis, if you're going to make Giannis the best player, then that means that the criteria for best player has to change. But when you're going off of the fact that just because he won the championship, look,
with that logic, right? Just because, first of all, in 2015, just because you won a championship, that means Iguodala was the best player in the world at one point. Tim Duncan was the best player in the world at one point. Kawhi Leonard, young Kawhi Leonard, was the best player in the world at one point. So that just because you won a championship doesn't make you the best player on the world. And also, let me ask you this, Z. I don't know if you remember, Kawhi Leonard in 2019, he won an NBA championship, right? And, injuries aside, he won it, and it was fair. I don't think it's a fluke or anything. Injuries happened, and they just favored him, and he won. But everyone ran away with the narrative that Kawhi Leonard was the best player in the world. Why? Because he won a championship. Now, the question is, Z, let's say Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant did not get injured that series. Would Kawhi still be considered the best player in the world?
No. If they don't get hurt, depending on Steph, right? Because this is how I'm thinking. If they don't get hurt, Steph was still going to go on a tear. Steph was still going to, if you look at the years of the championships from 2017 and 18, Steph was rising in point totals as well as just everything else was just flowing. Like in 2018, he almost averaged a triple-double for the Warriors. So I figure through finals MVP, possibly finals MVP voter fatigue, they probably would have gave it to Steph. But KD still would have been looked at as the best player. Because when you look at the Warriors, Steph was the most valuable player 100%. Because when KD was hurt and Steph was running the show through those years, they had a better record than vice versa. Than Steph being hurt and KD running the show. Steph was the most valuable player. But KD was still the best player. So I'm like, how do we go off of this logic that we've had for years, right? Even KD haters, right, when he joined the Warriors, the NBA media was saying, LeBron's still the best, but KD's number 2. So all of a sudden, KD does all of these heroics, you know what I'm saying, in the playoffs with half of James Harden and no Kyrie Irving, and then it's like he was a toe away from the finals. Like in a lot of ways, when you look at it, did the Bucks really beat the Nets, or did the Bucks escape the Nets from a toe?
You could definitely say that.
You could argue that, like the Bucks. Like I was like, as much as I love the Bucks winning, like as much as I have no problem with it, they low key kind of just escaped Kevin Durant. Like they low key escaped him because of his freaking shoe size.
And that's his shoe size. And that's crazy. I can't believe that dictated the series. Kevin Durant. But anyways, this season. And again, I'm not trying to preach that this was a fluke season because it's not, all right? Injuries happen, but it's crazy how injuries happen in favor, especially these two teams. More to the Suns, but it greatly did favor the Bucks. Because think about it.
Scott Foster.
The Phoenix Suns played LeBron and AD, right? AD was injured, and then AD came into a tear, got injured again. LeBron wasn't the same, okay? They lost. No Jamal Murray the second round. So it was Jokic versus the Suns. That's what it was. And then the following round, they got, not lucky, but they got lucky that Kawhi Leonard got injured. Because for me, if Kawhi was not injured, we would be saying the Clippers are the NBA championships this year. And I think that I'm pretty sure if 100% Kawhi, 100% Paul George would have.
Lou would have figured out how to lock up Giannis. Kawhi did it in 2019. So
I don't see why not Kawhi wouldn't do it again. So, I mean, again, this has been the luckiest year for the Bucks and the Suns. And I don't even think the Suns sniff another NBA Finals appearance if these teams stay healthy, if the Warriors stay healthy, if the Lakers stay healthy.
And I like the Suns. Like I always was like a fan of them at the beginning of the year because I was like, it's just something about them. They just know what to do on offense, whatever. But I was like, next year is going to be very interesting. Because I was like, what are the odds the Suns, like everybody's healthy and the Suns still go back to the finals? Everybody, including us, the TikTok world, will have to speak our words.
Yeah.
Literally.
I'll have to do an apology video.
I would do an apology video. Like everybody in the sports world would do an apology video for the Suns. But I don't think that's going to happen. Because if you think about it, the West is going to be, if healthy, the West can be like it used to be in playoff form. Like you got the Warriors and the Lakers. The Lakers trying to get one more in. The Clippers trying to get one in. The Warriors trying to get one more in. And the Suns trying to get back to prove it wasn't a fluke. Stuff like that. And then in the Eastern Conference with Brooklyn, if the Brooklyn Nets come out and they face the Bucks in the playoffs next year and they're all healthy, if they swept them, that would be like the most evil thing ever.
That's the worst case scenario for the Bucks. Like that, you don't want that to happen. Like you want to lose. You want to lose in 7 games against a healthy.
You would want to lose in 7. We would give you the respect of it. But if you think about it, if that happened in retrospect, we would look back and be like, okay, say the Suns run across the Lakers in the playoffs next year, and the Lakers beat them. We're like, last year they wouldn't have beat the Lakers if they were healthy. Then if the Bucks run across a healthy Nets team, we would say they wouldn't be the champions if the Nets were healthy. Like these are the things.
But the thing with the Nets, right? This is the reason the Nets don't convince me still. And I'm not. They actually this year they showed why they could win it all. I'm not saying they have no chance, okay? But this year they convinced me that the only thing stopping the Nets as no team actually is themselves.
Yeah,
is their injuries. And I hope Kevin Durant stays healthy, although I hate that guy. I hope James Harden stays healthy. I hope Kyrie stay healthy. But I feel like it's year after year. Either Kevin Durant gets injured, Kyrie has a weird injury. James Harden is the only player. I thought it was just unlucky that James Harden got injured because I don't remember last time James Harden had a drastic injury like his hamstring. But besides that, the Nets has really the only enemy that they got is themselves. If they can't stay healthy, then they're never going to win a championship. So bringing that up with Kevin Durant, right? Because I did bring him up. Now let's transition to Team USA. Now, they lost to France. They lost to Evan Fournier and Rudy Gobert. Mm-hmm. I think Evan Fournier dropped 30 points. Rudy Gobert had a defensive, a defensive beast. He's a defensive player of the year candidate after that game. I can't say anything else about Rudy Gobert after seeing that international game. But what I've noticed, and I'm not trying to say that Kevin Durant is not that guy to lead a team, but they don't have any leaders in that team. They don't.
That's the problem with Team USA.
And Evan Fournier said it best. They said individually, they're the best team in the world. As a team, any team could beat them. That's what he said.
I've said it before. With Team USA, when you look at where we've had our strengths, I said, when I looked at this team, the way they were constructed, I was like, Kevin Durant's been on Team USA how many times in his career? He's done extraordinary things, been literally named, looked at as the best player on Team USA. So I was like, he's done this on the same team as LeBron and all of the best players. KD still shined the brightest because when you have those guys, they can do other things. They're not like LeBron isn't worried about being the best scorer. Kobe, when he came in 2008, he literally went up to the coach and said, I'm only here for defense. Even though Kobe was still the best scorer in the game.
I don't know if you saw that clip. I saw it was going viral on Instagram. It was LeBron James and Kobe Bryant in 2012. And in all the practice, all you hear is, hey, Kobe, hey, or just coaching everywhere. You see the practices here? You don't hear one voice.
You hear LeBron. You have LeBron and you have Kobe on the same team with their leadership, which their leadership is completely different. Kobe's leadership is Jordan-esque. That's why it's fantastic. Some people are like bitches and they're just like, oh, he punched his teammate. Shut up. Just shut up. It's the grit of the team. They still won championships. LeBron is the one that's pick your man up when he's down. If it was Kobe or Jordan, if you fell down on purpose, you're picking yourself up. If you fell down giving 100%, we're picking you up. So when they come together on Team USA, you got the best player in basketball in LeBron at that time, and then you have Kobe, an established legend. You're gonna listen to those guys. With KD can be that, but he needs another guy with him. Like KD is the best player, obviously, on the squad, but he needs somebody else has got to help that man with leadership on this team.
Obviously, KD has all the talent in the world. He does. I mean, there's nothing about his talent that is lacking. Compared to LeBron and Kobe. Talent-wise, he's up there with them. But when it comes to being that guy, all right, Dame go down here. JT go down here. Bam, Draymond, I need you to go. Kevin Durant is not that guy. He has not been that guy. The only time that I can say that he was that guy was when he went to the NBA Finals in 2012. When he was with Russ, with Harden, he was. You saw KD. He was screaming at players. I mean, that was what KD needs to do in Team USA. But
do you think that if he did that with the way that the team is constructed? Because I made a video. I was like, imagine if we had LeBron in there and Steph and Harden and Anthony Davis instead of the starting lineup that we have, or that starting lineup's coming off the bench instead. Team USA will be rolling through. And KD will be in the mix because when you think about Team USA, the best team that was ever assembled was the Dream Team. And that team is constructed of the best player in the world, Michael Jordan, legends in Larry and Magic, and Larry wasn't even doing well in that.
He came off the bench.
Literally. But his presence was just there. He was literally in practice. He wouldn't even be practicing with David Robinson and Charles Barkley and Karl Malone and all them. He would just be resting his back. But the fact that he was there inspired everybody to go crazy. And they realized this is the best talent that we could have pulled. If anybody else could have came on the team, it would have been Isaiah Thomas. But instead, we got a fucking college kid and Christian Laettner who's just going to carry our bags. But
Shaq, but keep going.
Or Shaq, anybody else like that. But they got literally top 10 players on a squad. In this lineup, we got one top 2 player in KD, and then you got top players at their position, but not in the league. So I was like, this team isn't gonna, like, if they lose, I'm not gonna be surprised. I'd be surprised if they win in convincing fashion, but like, all their teams are gonna be close.
Dame is the only player that you could say is a top 10 player, and him being 10 out of the 10 players. I mean, I have him 10 as the best. But like, again, you can make an argument for any other player. Like, there's no
He's closer to the top 10 than everybody else.
Exactly. He is closer to the top 10 than everyone else in that roster.
Besides KD.
Besides KD. KD's, 1 or 2. It doesn't matter how you put it. But yeah, no, KD just needs to. And first of all, Coach Popovich, is he getting exposed? I mean, okay, I'm not saying that he's a bad coach. He's one of the greatest. I think he's the greatest ever, like greatest coach of all time. But now that I'm looking at this, and I mean, he has all the talent in the world. It's not like his team is garbage. I mean, Team USA still could win gold if they, figure something out. Yeah, but Greg Popovich even went out and said that we're running the San Antonio Spurs offense. He went out and said that, and it's not working at all. So either he is getting exposed, or it's time for him to retire, because that means that his game doesn't translate in the modern game anymore. And if he keeps playing and he keeps being the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs, or he just keeps getting exposed in Team USA, what's the point? All your legacy is literally just slowly being overrated. And that's the last thing I want to see from Greg Popovich.
Yeah, then you don't want people to sit back and say what they tried to say about Brady and Belichick, where they were like, "Oh no, Belichick."
That's a perfect example. Yeah,
but they tried to say Belichick made Brady, and then Brady goes to Tampa Bay and wins the championship, and it's like, nah, Tom is that dude. Tom's the GOAT. There's no.
Yeah, it's like it was like Tim Duncan went to another team and won a championship.
Yeah, Duncan. I saw a video. I think Chilltown had done it today or yesterday. He was saying how. I think he said, I hope I'm not wrong, but I think he said that the narrative of the big three in San Antonio being only being good because it was the big three, like they made Pop. Pop didn't make them, which is interesting when you think about this type of team, because think about it. Tony and Manu and Tim, that big three was sensational. Tim was the best player. Tony was the facilitator. Manu was the sixth man coming off the bench doing everything that a sixth man you would want him to do. With this team, you got KD, Dame, Bam, Dre, Jason Tatum. I'm like, bro.
What is missing? That's the thing. Like, what is missing?
You got a 7-footer, but you got KD, but that's it. Like, that's the tallest dude you have.
And the thing is, you can't put KD to do everything. Because it's like Team USA is the KD show. And that's the last thing Team USA wants to do. Imagine, now this is more political, but imagine USA brings the best team they could assemble, and this is the team that we're talking about, right? The team that we have. And the only way they could win is if KD shows up. That's the only way they could win. Is that a good representation for Team USA? No. I mean,
KD, like I said before, we were talking about it on Player's Choice. Y'all were saying how KD needs to go out there and just be selfish and drop 50 himself. But I was like, the format of Team USA has never been that. So now looking at it from this perspective, you could say, what else? I mean, what else do you have to do? If y'all can't figure it out from this offense, if I'm KD, I'm like, well, if we can't figure out how to win, fuck it. I'm just gonna go out there and just do whatever. Like,
and that's the reason I said that, because I saw Team USA, and I didn't see a team with that played for each other, like Team in 2012 or the Dream Team. That team played for each other. They didn't play individually and let me shine. No, they were playing for each other. This team is like, they're lost out there. They don't know what the heck is going on. So Kevin Durant needs to be that guy. So that's why I said that.
With Team USA, they always have to figure out what it is. Like when Team USA in '92, when the Dream Team lost to the college kids, that was Chuck Daly did that on purpose. He wanted them to fail because everybody thought, oh, we're just going to team up and it'd be like the All-Star game. No, you have to work together. Once they figured it out, they were like, I was watching the Dream Team documentary. You would see them in transition, and if you figure out how to work together, then you can have fun while whooping ass. That's the difference. Like I remember one of the plays, Scotty threw up an alley-oop. He pretended to throw an oop to it was a 2-on-1 fast break, him and Barkley and some other person, and that was the defender. Scotty faked the alley-oop to Barkley, grabbed it in midair himself, and laid it up. I was like, but they were already up 45. Yeah. So I was like, you figure it out. You have to have that camaraderie. And with the Dream Team, the reason they had that camaraderie was being together, playing cards, simple things. Like it's like AAU. You go on an AAU tournament. We played AAU before. I've gone on AAU tournaments with my team. The first tournament we went on that night, we actually just all bonded. We went out, got food, lived the lives of 15-year-olds in a hotel by themselves with no restrictions, just had fun. And then by the time the game rolled around, by the time of us just sitting back talking with each other, we knew what each other's strengths were. Like, okay, if this dude drives in the paint, Z's going to slide over, get the block, or my teammate who was also the same height as me, drive over, you get the block. We literally would have fun. Me and him would like literally sit back and be like, okay, yeah, if he comes in, if he comes off the screen, you lead him to me, pretend to get the block, let him come in, think he has a floater, I'll come in and get the block, give it to you, we go up and start running. It's just simple things like that. I don't really think that Team USA has actually sat down, breathed, and let the flow. Didn't they just get D-Book and Drew and Chris?
That should have been a really awkward plane ride. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Really awkward.
They just gotta sit down, come together, and figure something out. But if all else fails, you got Kevin Durant. Just let him go out there and be Kevin Durant.
That's literally your final option. And I want to stop right there. You imagine that plane ride with D-Book, Chris Middleton. They were in the same plane. I don't know if that was awkward or like. I don't know how D-Book took it. Like it's like.
I remember before game 6, I was watching the preview of the finals, and Malika Andrews was sitting down with Drew, and they were talking about D-Book, and Drew was like praising him. He was like, "Man, D-Book is tough," So I was like, I feel like they definitely were just talking kind of about the finals. I don't think it was like too cold, but I feel like they were just chatting it up, trying to because I don't. But then again, I'm also thinking like the video of D-Book that went viral of him saying "damn."
Yeah,
I feel like,
and again, a D-Book is the closest thing apparently to Kobe. But the only thing I can say about that is that he does have the mentality as Kobe. So just imagine this wasn't D-Book and this was Kobe that lost in the NBA Finals.
Oh God, Kobe!
so imagine if Kobe lost to Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Giannis, right? And he has to be in the same plane ride as Drew and Chris. How would Kobe take that?
I remember before the I think it was the 2000 finals, Indiana versus LA. Kobe actually had a private shooting session with Reggie Miller, and Reggie Miller thought that it was just like them, trying to bond before the finals. But Kobe was like, I was studying everything he was doing to prepare for the finals, and then en route we beat them. And I knew everything that he was going to do. So I was like, Kobe would have definitely been plotting some shit for next year.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Chris, how do you get to that little that mid-range fadeaway in the fourth quarter with like 2 minutes left? Do you wait for the screen to come? Drew, what direction? How do you know when a player is going to go right or left? Oh, okay. And then he's sitting there just like
then goes the whole time.
Like, what's the play? How does Giannis get to the rim? So okay. And then he's calling his coach and being like, "Yeah, we got him. We got him."
Yeah, I used to imagine I wish D-Book did that. I wish I don't think D-Book was. The thing is that I don't think D-Book was in that plane ride to be friends. I think D-Book just went in that plane. Because Z, come on, you just lost the NBA Finals. Like you don't just brush that aside. Like, oh, I just lost to these dudes. Yeah, let me go sit next to them and have a nice conversation. No, NBA Finals, and D-Book knows this probably was the best opportunity for him to win NBA Finals. You really think he's gonna sit there? Hey man, yo, good game. You did amazing, Chris Middleton. You were the star. No, I don't think D-Book is gonna go say that. That should have been the most awkward plane ride of all time. That would have just been awkward in my opinion. But again, when it comes to the NBA postseason and the whole thing and Team USA, I want to talk about Luka real quick. You imagine if, first of all, not too long ago, Crafty said that Luka's already an NBA Hall of Famer. I agree. Z, I think you also agree. You said you also agree. And it makes
And
sense.
and whoever just heard that, by the way, look up what the Hall of Fame is, and then come back to me before you say, "Oh no, y'all are clowns." Look up what the Hall of Fame is, then look up Luka's resume and tell me he in the Hall of Fame already.
Yeah,
it's
the Basketball Hall of Fame, guys, not the NBA Hall of Fame.
The
Basketball
Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Anyways,
Luka could have never played in the NBA and been a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. So he's a Basketball Hall of Famer as of right now. And just imagine in a world, right? First of all, Luka dropped 41, 15, and 5 blocks, something like that against.
Luka was playing defense. Holy crap!
Yeah, no, it was scary. He had 41 against Argentina. And Argentina is regarded one of the best teams in the world right now. So it's not like they played a scrub. They played Argentina, and he poor Luis Scola. First of all, I feel bad for Luis Scola because he's still playing, and he's out there trying to defend, Luka, and it was just bad. I mean, it looked like my grandpa defending me playing basketball. It was horrible. It was bad, and Luka was just there torching everyone. But just imagine, okay, Luka Doncic, Slovenia versus Team USA. Let's say in a world that they match up, and Team USA, they see Luka and whatever, and Luka drops 50 and beats them. What does that say about Luka? Like, what do you have to say about Luka Doncic after that? Is he a top 5 player after he does that, or is he still in the conversation to be top 5? Like, when is the point that we put Luka Doncic officially in the top 5? Like, what does he have to do?
Anthony Davis would have to get injured one more time next year, and then everybody's just like, fuck it, we're done with Anthony Davis. Honestly, that's what I think. Because Anthony Davis, I told you in Player's Choice, I was like, how many times are we going to tell a player if he's healthy, healthy? Before I'm just like, dude, stop. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Even though Anthony Davis isn't that injury prone, like he's not like D Rose level yet, and what D Rose used to be. So I was like, you might have to give him a couple more times to get hurt off of just walking, and then boom. That's when it's like that. Or Luka comes out next season and like the Mavericks go like 10-1 in their first 11. Then you're just like, whoa. And he's averaging like.
I'm expecting big things from. I'm expecting Luka to be MVP this season or this following season. I really do believe Luka's going to be the MVP. I think Luka's going to be the MVP. If it's not him, I got to go with Steph. Either one of those two are my favorites to win MVP next season. But speaking about, upcoming seasons, there's trade rumors. Now, Bradley Beal came out and said that I'm done with the Washington Wizards. I do not want to suck anymore. I want to go to a contender. The Warriors are in that list. Okay. Now, what Bradley Beal in the Warriors, what does that make the Warriors? A championship team, or are they are the favorites to win it all? What does Bradley Beal mean to the Warriors?
It depends on what they give up. Like, I've heard all of the trade rumors for the Warriors in like the past couple months, and the majority of the time that I've heard them, they've mentioned James Wiseman, which annoys me because I was like, James Wiseman is like, before he got hurt, I was like, this dude is looking like he's finally getting it. Draymond is a wonderful leader, like one of the best leaders in basketball today. Draymond took this young kid and said, if I was Draymond, I'd be like, hey, look, we're probably going to suck ass this year, but in the meantime, you can work on your game.
Yeah.
And Wiseman was finally starting to get it going. Like he was getting the offensive rebounds, the putbacks, the alley-oops, his mid-range was looking good. He was even shooting some three-pointers. So, like, I feel like that guy, they're going to need to keep. You can trade Kelly Oubre back. Andrew Wiggins has to get the hell out, too. Andrew Wiggins is 100% going to get traded. But when I think about it, I'm like, imagine a lineup with Steph, Clay, Bradley Beal. Beal has never been a playmaker.
No.
In the Warriors system, all he has to do is shoot. And then you're thinking about late game situations. You can go to Steph or Bradley or Clay. Like, I wouldn't want to be going down the wire with the Warriors team with those three as the closers. Steph and Steph can finally breathe. Like at the end of the games last year, he would be getting quadruple teamed as soon as he crossed half court or before he crossed half court. Now you mean to tell me that he's going to be getting double teamed and he can look to his left or his right and he doesn't have to see Andrew Wiggins in the corner or Kelly Oubre? Oh my God. The Warriors will be freaking rolling. Instead, he has Klay Thompson and or Bradley Beal. Holy crap. His options are limitless.
Yes, they are.
Like, Jesus Christ, all Warriors fans can breathe. Like, actually breathe. I was like, if you don't – Steph Curry is the clutchest player in basketball, in my opinion, last season. Because this man, I mean, if he ain't the clutchest, he's the only one that's being damn near quintuple. Is that the word of it? 5 people are damn near guarding him. At the end of the Lakers game – no, at the end of the Memphis game for the play-in spot, at the end of regulation, I swear to God, go back and look at it. They were double teaming him before he crossed half court. I was like, if that doesn't scream clutchest player in the world to you, or if you think Steph isn't clutch, that should be a prime example. Oh, then no. Then like, no. Why would they leave the best shooter of all time open? If he is the best shooter and he ain't clutch, why wouldn't you leave him open?
Right? Look, in this season, and the reason I've been calling Steph the best in the world, because Z, I am telling you right now, the next season, Steph Curry's coming for revenge. Steph Curry is gonna come for everyone's throats. There was I think it was JaVale McGee in Instagram with Steph Curry. He said, "What's the team that you're expecting to drop 60 on?" And he said, "Everyone." That's what he said. That was a response. So Steph Curry, like you said, if Bradley Beal ends up, not even with just Bradley Beal, just with Klay Thompson next to him, right? Yes. But Bradley Beal, that's a plus. But with just Klay Thompson
with his splash, brother. You mean to tell me, like, if you're a team and you're game planning for them, you got to worry about which one are you going to double team? Because if you're worrying about Klay, Steph, I was watching, what was it? What's his name? Was it De'Aaron Fox? It might have been De'Aaron Fox. He was talking about Steph. He was talking about Steph, and he had just dropped the 62 on Portland, right? So then, can you hear me?
No, I hear you.
Okay, cool. I was like, shit. So he was just talking about the 62 that they dropped on Portland. And then De'Aaron was like, yeah, and we had to play them the next game. And he was like, you mean to tell me that I got to guard Steph after that? I was like, now imagine. And he was like, the problems with Steph is if he said this, and I've been saying this, I was going to put this in one of my videos of like, you know, you're in trouble when. Yeah. He said, if Steph is walking up the court and his head is down, he's about to go. And I was like, I've noticed that for like the past 6 years. Every time that Steph is like, and you watch him, it can be like on an inbounds play. Somebody will be guarding him and he'll just put his head down and just like his body will be very like slow. And then he just goes and sprints. Yep. I was like, now imagine you're worrying about Klay, but then you got Steph coming off of somebody's off-ball screen.
Oh, man. No, that's –
I'd shit my pants.
And then let me go back to James Wiseman. You said I would trade James, and although I think James Wiseman improved a lot throughout the regular season with Draymond. Draymond Green got a technical foul for screaming at James Wiseman.
Literally.
He's been coaching him this whole season.
It sums up the NBA refs. They're fucking cool.
Yeah. The reason is that they don't have time to. Like, I think this league. Yes, he said this, and it made sense. The Warriors don't have time to train puppies. They don't have time to train puppies. Well, Steph is 31. He's going to be 31. Klay, I think, is like 30, 29. Draymond's 33. They don't have time to train puppies. They don't have time to look at the future. Their time to win is now. So if they want to win, James Wiseman has to go. They have to let go of Andrew Wiggins, please. I mean, that's a given. Andrew Wiggins out.
The only way that I would see them keeping Andrew Wiggins is if they said, okay, don't try and shoot. Just play defense.
No, he's a great defender.
He's a wonderful defender.
Yeah.
I was like, if you're open in the corner, you better pass that bitch up. Don't shoot.
He locked down LeBron. I'm a LeBron fan. I
was watching that game. I was watching my friend. I was like, are you telling me that Andrew Wiggins is really locking up? Like, LeBron couldn't back him down. I was like,
no.
Either LeBron's like actually very, very hurt, or Andrew Wiggins is just destroying him right now.
We'll find out next season. But as of right now, LeBron James got locked up by Andrew Wiggins. So if you want to keep him for the defensive purposes, fine. But I would trade him either way. For Bradley Beal, so this is a trade that I'm thinking of. Bradley Beal, probably some nobody player And for James Wiseman, Andrew Wiggins, the 7th pick and the 14th pick, that whole package, you give it to Bradley Beal. Now your starting lineup is going to be Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Bradley Beal, Draymond Green. Go sign Dwight Howard. Go sign JaVale McGee. Go sign DeMarcus Cousins. Any center that is a free agent, go sign Andrew Bogut back, man. Like, sign any center. And that team is a championship team. And like you said, Steph doesn't have to worry about passing it to Andrew Wiggins or Kelly Oubre. Now he has Bradley Beal or Klay Thompson. It's over. It's over. And I still have the Lakers over the Warriors, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors beat the Lakers. But
I would want to see the Lakers and Warriors running back in the playoffs with that team.
Oh my God.
Because then it's like y'all barely beat us when I had to against Steph's line. It's like y'all barely beat us when I had my JV league team.
Yeah.
Now I got my Splash brother back. Now I got ammo. What you gonna do?
Yeah. So first of all, that game still was the highest rated game this whole year.
Of course it was. I was like, the basketball gods blessed us.
The NBA Finals didn't come close to
literally.
that game. So
you're going to give us the best rivalry that we've had in the past 5 seasons, LeBron and Steph.
Yeah, every single
one game. And then to top it all off, it comes down to a last-second shot, and LeBron heaves it up over Steph. Like, if it was either way, I'm like, if it was Steph heaving up over LeBron or LeBron heaving up over Steph, I'm like, let it just be those two that decide the game.
That night I didn't sleep. I couldn't sleep.
Night I was low key mad because I was like, Steph was just doing every single thing.
I did not care.
Of course you didn't care.
I did not care. I was so happy the way LeBron James shot. First of all, not only did he hit that wonderful buzzer beater, he did it over Steph. Like, I was like, no, bro, that's iconic. That was iconic.
Then all of a sudden, the fuck you 3 was born.
Yo, those memes were funny.
When I saw that, I was like, I laughed so hard. That was so hilarious. That was so hilarious.
Oh man. Anyways, let's do our start bench cut. I want you to go first, and then I'll go. Start bench cut. The best player in the world, Giannis, apparently from everyone. Giannis, KD, Curry. You got to start, bench, and cut one.
I'm starting Steph. That's just the best facilitator out of the 3, best playmaker out of the 3, best shooter, obviously, and this has nothing to do with basketball in general, but the most exciting out of the 3. So that brings me ticket sales. Benching Kevin Durant, because with Kevin Durant, imagine Steph's go ahead and facilitating everything and doing his thing, and probably Steph can drop 27 and a quarter or something like that. Then you have to worry about the most unstoppable scorer in basketball who can still also play defense and isn't afraid to play defense, Kevin Durant. And then with Giannis, I'm cutting him. The reason being is because as much as I love Giannis, I'm just like, those guys, unless you are the type of person that says, like, for example, I heard somebody once say that passing was more important than scoring. That's stupid. With Giannis, he's the best defender out of the 3, right?
Yeah.
And he can still get his buckets. I made a video. I was like, he can still get his buckets. He's been averaging damn near 28 for the past 3 seasons. But Steph, the scoring leader, you saw what Steph can do with fucking scrubs. Kevin Durant came off of an Achilles tear averaging 30. So I'm just like, I'm going to take those guys. They're going to be too much to worry about in terms of the other team. Plus, I can trust them way more than I can trust Giannis down the stretch of a game. Even though Giannis did really, really extraordinary in Game 6.
He proved that he is not just
He
can score multiple ways. He can score multiple ways. When he's multiple ways.
KD and Steph have had way more, and granted, Giannis is so young. He's 26.
Yeah.
But they just have done so much in their careers. They're built for certain moments, like in the playoffs. I would trust them down the stretch. Obviously, Giannis would trust Chris Middleton, which is nothing's wrong with that. But I just, for those reasons, I'm going to do it like that.
Okay, so before I go, I want to talk about Giannis' resume as a 26-year-old. I think he has the best resume when you compare him to Jordan, LeBron at 26 years old. At 26, guys, come down. At 26 years old. At 26, okay? Not saying, okay, just making sure it's at 26. Everybody at 26. Okay, Giannis is a 2-time MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, a Finals MVP, and has won his first NBA championship.
Wonderful.
That is crazy. The man averaged 30, 28 this season, 14 rebounds, 15 rebounds, 11 rebounds this season. What else do you have to ask about this man? Defensive Player of the Year, crazy. His resume, disgusting. But start one, bench one, cut one, Steph, KD, Giannis. Now I'm benching Steph. Now the main reason why is because you imagine Steph Curry coming off the bench playing against the second unit of the other team.
That's true. That's what I did with KD.
That man's gonna have a field day with that, right? I can make an argument he could also start because it doesn't matter who's guarding him. He's gonna have a field day. Yeah. But just putting Steph in the set, oh my God. I think he'll be the highest scoring sixth man of all time if he was in the bench. Okay, so I still think he's the best player in the world. I just think for my team, I'm benching Steph, and I'm cutting KD. I'm gonna cut KD because the main reason why Giannis, although KD's a better scorer, I get it. KD's a better scorer. Giannis could pass the ball, a better defender. He could drive in, unstoppable, could stay more healthy than KD. When it comes to health-wise, KD gets injured every single season, it seems like, throughout ever since he got injured in 2019. So we're talking about the most dominant player in the NBA. Going down there, dropping 15, 20 points in the first half, has the highest. Right now in All-NBA, has the highest points in a half. The average is Giannis this season. And also, you got Steph coming off the bench in crunch time with Giannis being a defensive threat. That pick and roll is going to be disgusting. First of all, Giannis and Steph Curry would play a lot better than Steph and KD. 100%.
Don't agree with that.
Steph and KD were great, but Giannis and Steph, that duo would be one of the best of all time. That's why Warriors fans wanted Giannis to come to the Warriors. Because Giannis and Steph Curry were meant to be with each other. They're meant to be with each other. So if I get Steph and Giannis in the same team, oh man, forget about it. They're winning every single championship.
So let me get this shit straight. So Kevin Durant goes to the Warriors.
Out of there.
Kevin Durant goes to the Warriors. We regard the Warriors as the best team of all time, right? Yeah. And we also said that you have Steph Curry to worry about on the offensive side of the ball. And then you implement the best scorer, which is Kevin Durant, also on that team. And now they're basically unstoppable. So you would rather have Giannis.
Yep, 100%.
Steph Curry and KD won, 2 championships in 3 years? And the third one, KD.
Would have been 3 if KD never got injured.
Yeah, so you would rather have Giannis. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I will say that.
As a duo, first of all, let's think about it not just in the Golden State Warriors, Kevin Durant was a better fit than Giannis. But I'm talking about as a duo. Steph Curry and Giannis are a better duo than KD and Steph any day of the week. First of all, that pick and roll with Giannis and just thinking about it, it's just sus. It just gives me a nightmare, man. Steph and Giannis in the same team.
So what would you want, Giannis and Steph to close the game or KD and Steph to close the game?
Steph and Giannis 100%.
That's bullshit.
No. You know why? Because what if the game is on a defensive end? And determined on the other team. You give me the defensive player of the year, Giannis, over KD any day.
This is the thing. This is how interesting that is, though, because I'm like, when we compare some players, we're like, okay, he was a better defender than this guy, but we often don't say this guy could still play defense. Like Kevin Durant in 2019, in the regular season, Kevin Durant was on a defensive tear in the regular season. Like the media was like sitting in the back and saying KD could win Defensive Player of the Year. He was on a tear because he finally.
1 year.
No. This is the difference. KD himself said, "I'm going to focus more on defense this year," and he improved phenomenally. So you mean to tell me that if Kevin Durant says,
let me tell you this: why is MJ the greatest scorer of all time?
Who?
Why is MJ the greatest scorer of all time? Because he proved it, right?
Yeah.
With scoring titles, averaging 50% on the field, right? He showed it, right? But there's an argument that KD's better than him because he has more skill, right? Yeah. Give me Giannis is a better defender than KD. He has shown it time and time again, over and over and over, more than KD. I don't care if KD could do it. I don't care if KD has the talent to do it.
But
Has he
Kevin
done it?
Durant has shown time and time again he's a much better elite scorer than Giannis.
Scoring, 100%. I cannot disagree
So
with you.
this is where it is. It's like pick and choose.
I can't. But okay, no. But look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Giannis is not in the level in scoring than KD. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But with all that, Giannis averaged 30, 28 this season. Could drop 50 if he wants to. Most dominant player. Let's not act that Giannis can't score.
It depends on who's guarding him, though, because you also have to think about it.
Kawhi, that's why I got Steph.
We just finished talking about Kawhi, right? So Kawhi, they shut down Giannis by putting him in a box. You can't shut down KD.
You cannot shut down Giannis doing that stupid wall with Steph Curry along your side. You can't. You do that, Steph Curry's gonna drop 50. He's gonna drop 50. So no, you can't do that. Because every single game with Giannis and Steph Curry, you cannot double one or the other. You can't. It's impossible. You double Giannis, Steph is gonna be open.
It depends on who's doubling Giannis, though. You can double Giannis, and the person that's guarding Steph or the person that's guarding like the shooting guard of the team can sacrifice that, and then Giannis would kick it out, obviously. But we just finished talking about the systems. Kevin Durant, the reason that KD and Steph worked so well, I remember correctly, the Toronto Raptor game in 2019 in the regular season. KD has the ball in his hand at the end of the game. They double Kevin Durant because he's at the 3-point line. He can shoot it from anywhere. KD passes it to Steph in wide open, and he hits it. Prime example of that. 2018, game 1, they say, okay, we can give it to KD in the crunch time, but Steph's been on a hotter game than Kevin Durant has. Steph takes to the hole, gets the N1 over Kevin Love, sends the game into overtime before J.R. Smith sent it into overtime. But Steph tied the game. Then you're looking at a simple thing. Game 3. Steph was off, and KD showed up and did his thing for the second straight year in the same arena, in the same game.
Against Cleveland.
What's your point?
Against Cleveland.
What's your point?
You know my point.
No, I don't. 2017.
Against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Which team would you take in the 2017 Cavs with Kyrie, LeBron, and Kevin
versus the Warriors? It was what? 2017 Kyrie or what? Say that again.
Which team would you take? 2017 Cavs, the one with Kyrie, Kevin Love, and LeBron, the ones that destroyed the East.
Milwaukee.
You would take Milwaukee?
100%. LeBron can't do it all by himself.
LeBron didn't do it all by himself. Did you check the box score of that series?
Okay, but did he win?
No, he didn't win.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If you're telling me who I want to win the series against the Warriors, give me the Bucks.
So Players' Choice had just dropped the video a couple days ago and said that the Bucks could beat the KD and Steph Warriors.
They can't, and I don't agree with that. But if I'm telling you that what I'm trying to say,
you saying they would have a better chance than the Cavs?
They have They have a better chance. I'm not saying they're gonna win. I don't think any team could beat that 2017 Warriors. But if I want to pick a team to win that game, you give me the Milwaukee Bucks 100%.
So you have Kyrie and Drew Holiday.
Yes.
Now Holiday's obviously the better.
Injured Kyrie.
In 2017, Kyrie wasn't hurt.
He was humbled. Yes, he was.
What did he get hurt off of?
It was my bad. Sorry.
2015, you're talking about.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay. 2017, Kyrie was averaging, I think, like 29 that series, right?
Yeah.
But Drew Holiday, what makes up for it, this is one of those cases where, Drew is one of those, you have two guys who are somewhat all-stars, and the inconsistencies show.
Yep.
So, when you're looking at Game 6, for example, Giannis carried the load because Chris was struggling the entire game, and Drew was like 4 of 20. So, I would take Kyrie because I know Kyrie has a better shot of staying more consistent than Drew Holiday does. And Kevin Love, well, you can make the argument for Kevin versus Chris. Kevin was what? I mean, what was Kevin really on the court?
I honestly, they call him an all-star. He locked down Steph in 2016.
You locked down Steph's knee, but yeah. He fucked me up.
Besides that, I don't know what else he did.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I actually wanted. That's actually a question I might have to ask TikTok because, like, Kevin Love was a good rebounder, but he wasn't as good as he was in Minnesota. He could still shoot the three. Like, he had that one quarter where he had like 34 and a quarter.
He was only an all-star because he was in the East. Let's be honest. Only the
Yeah.
All-Star because it was in the East. But to answer your question, Milwaukee has a bigger chance. This team has a bigger chance beating that Warriors team than the Cavs.
Interesting.
Yep. And also, I would cut Kevin Durant 100%. Get him out of there.
Hell no.
Yep, 100%. Anyways, guys, thank you for coming to the show. We'll be back next week, and we're going to be more consistent. It was mostly me. I've been very, very busy, but I'm back. Let's call this season 2 of Light and Hunch. We are back, and we're going to be better. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. News to come. See you guys.
See you guys.